Guys, in this video, we're going to talk about the two neighbors that everyone knows about, who are Manchester United and Manchester City. Guys, one of them being one of the biggest clubs in the world at the moment, Manchester City, and one of them being one of the most flops in world football, Manchester United, a Finnish club, right? A Finnish club. No one wants to be even a fan of that club. The fans were running away from the club, and this and that, and now the tables have turned. Manchester United is starting to become a big club, and Manchester City is starting to go in the dust. That's what I'm talking about. Guys, since the arrival of Michael Carrick, who is a grandson of Sir Alex Ferguson, right, to the club of Manchester United, guys, things have changed. The first game, 2-0 versus Manchester City at Old Trafford. Second game, 3-2 at the Emirates versus, of course, Arsenal. Yesterday, 3-2 versus Fulham at Old Trafford. Wow. I never expected something like this to happen in football, especially with Manchester United. They had to suck Erik ten Hag. They had to hire Ruben Amorim. They had to sack him as well. Of course, he is the one who brought all those signings like Matheus Cunha, Brian Mbeumo, and of course, Benjamin Šeško to the club. And now they're operating the way that they needed to operate for the club under, of course, Michael Carrick. But guys, I never expected something like this to happen, guys. Like, Manchester United is now coming up. Their form is booming. And Manchester City's form is going like this. Even though they're second on the table, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. They suck right now. Like, they literally suck. I can't imagine. I can't imagine. They're still second in the table, but they suck. Yesterday, they played Spurs at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, and they drew 2-2. They were leading at halftime 2-0, and then they bottled it. I never expect something like this from Manchester City, especially the Manchester City that I know, that they controlled the whole game throughout the whole 90 minutes. Right now, they're being controlled. They're being controlled, guys. Like, it's not even a question. Yesterday, Spurs could have made a comeback that Manchester City would have been shocked. They could have left the stadium early, right? Unfortunately, that comeback did not happen. But guys, even that 2-2 draw is a huge sign that Manchester City, I don't know what the problem is right now. But you know what? Let's talk about Manchester City later. Let's talk about Manchester United in the first place, okay? Manchester United, guys, I think that the biggest thing that happened in that club that's actually enabling them to be where they are right now is that, first of all, the sacking of Ruben Amorim, because I think that the tactics that Ruben Amorim was applying were, of course, working. I'm not saying that they weren't working, because when he left the club was like 5th or 7th. And right now it's like in the top 4, I think. So they were working, right? They were working. The problem is, the tactics sometimes, if they don't work, you need to change them. He wasn't changing them. So that was the problem. But Michael Carrick, I think that the one thing that helps him a lot with the club right now is that the signings. He did not make the signings of Matheus Cunha and Brian Mbeumo, Benjamin Šeško, of course. He didn't make those signings. Those signings were made by Ruben Amorim. He used those signings, right? Patrick Dorgu in the left, Amad Diallo in the right. He uses those signings, and they're working very good. That's what's happening right now at Manchester United. I think that the squad itself is defining how Michael Carrick can use the squad, right? Like, it's great to see this, because and of course it's a talent of Michael Carrick himself, because he was coached under the biggest coach probably in world football, was Sir Alex Ferguson. So, as I said, he's the grandchild of, the coach. But the thing is that I think that the squad itself, it's helping him a lot. And of course, Lisandro Martinez, Harry Maguire as the center halves. So it's helping a lot, because Lisandro Martinez is a world-class defender, if you guys don't know. It's just that he's a player of injuries. But he's a world-class defender when he plays football. And he was doing just that in these 3 games. He started all 3. He won all 3. He produces great moments in the game, right? He's a world-class defender. We all know that. But the thing is that the problem, what I'm seeing right now at Manchester United, right now the whole squad is almost there, right? Everyone is there. Mateus Cunha, everyone is there except for Patrick Dorgan right now. But still, they won yesterday versus Fulham, even though there was a moment where Fulham were, coming for it. But then Benjamin Sesko, of course, saved the day for them. I think that if injuries are going to happen, especially these players like Casemiro, who is going to leave, of course, at the end of the season. But I think that if he leaves, they need to find someone who's very reliable. I think it is going to be Kobe Mainoo, in my opinion. But I think that they need to find someone. If it's not Kobe Mainoo, that they need to find someone, of course. But of course, Lisandro Martinez, if he gets injured, it's going to be a big blow in that defense. Because I think that he's a very big reason why opponents fail to score sometimes versus Manchester United. So injuries might affect this team, okay? Even though I don't think so, because I don't know, man. Because what I'm seeing is that right now everyone is fit, everyone is playing football in that club. But if injuries happen, then it's going to be a problem. I don't know, man. But now let's talk about Manchester City. Manchester City, guys, I never expected something like this to happen. Even though, you know what? People say that Manchester City is finished. They're second in the league. So I don't know if they're finished or they're... But it's just a matter of who wins the title. Okay? Manchester City is not finished, but they're not ready to win the title because they're second. And now there's a 6-point gap between him and Arsenal. But I think that Manchester City could be finished, to be honest. Because the way that the game went yesterday, first of all, before the game even started, Spurs had 11 players injured. Like, can you even believe that? Ben Davies, Kulusevski, Maddison, Richarlison, Lucas Bergvall, Bentancur, Pedro Porro, and a lot of Mickey van de Ven, of course. All of these players were injured. Manchester City also had injuries, but not as fatal as this team, guys. Like, not as fatal as... Because in Spurs, Paulinho was playing as a right back. Yes, a right back. Like, come on, guys. So, I think that... And, of course, Manchester City made those signings, Semenyo. They got Marc Guehi as a center back because Ruben Diaz is injured and all these injuries in their defenders, so they had to sign him. Now they got their signings. What are they waiting for? Counterattacks? Yes. Unfortunately, yes. Because yesterday, after leading 2-0 in the first half, in the second half, it was almost completely done for Manchester City. They didn't have anything in the second half. Like, literally anything. They could have lost that game 4-2, 5-2. Like, I'm not even kidding, guys. The second half for Spurs, whenever they got the ball, they were electric. Like, you know what electric 400 volts looks like? It's that. Spurs, yesterday. Incredible scenes, guys. I never expected them to draw that game because, of course, when they scored the second goal, I think the Spurs were already on a shock. Like, what the hell did we just do? And now... But they play football, guys. Like, that's the beauty of the game. Sometimes don't give up. Just play football. And they did that. But that gap now is of 6 points. And I think that Arsenal, this time, they might win the league just because Manchester City is not ready to win the league. Or even to play in the Premier League, to be honest. Pep Guardiola, I think that if he doesn't succeed anything in this season, he needs to leave Manchester City. Like, I'm not even kidding. He needs to leave Manchester City as soon as possible, ASAP. Because I think that everyone now can play against Pep Guardiola's Manchester City and beat them. That's what's happening. They just lost to Bodo Glimt in the Champions League match day 7. I never expected that. And the game was bizarre. It was bizarre. So I think that he needs to leave the club, and of course that's it for today, guys. I mean, one of them was the mighty, one of them was not, but now things have changed. So, anyways, guys, that's it for today. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and I'll see you on the next video.